All right, guys. We are going to work on factoring expressions. Um, Factoring is where we just pull out, the largest number that is in both of these things, or the variable that is in both of these things. This is probably something that we have worked on the least in class. But it'll be a big skill when you're in the higher grades, when you're in algebra and stuff like that. So we want to make sure. I mean, it is something we've done, but we want to make sure that we have covered this well. So first off, it wants us to find the greatest common factor of a couple numbers. Just to review, this isn't even going to be number one. This is just going to be just a review. If I have 48 and 60, and I want to know what the greatest common factor of both those numbers is, you might look at both these and you say, you know what, I know 12 goes into both those. And I think 12 probably is the greatest common factor. But if you don't know it's 12, here's a couple ways that you can find it. You can use this upside down division, where you divide only by prime numbers. And you say, 2 goes into 48 24 times, 2 goes into 24 12 times, 2 goes into 12 6 times, 2 goes into 6 3 times. Do the same thing with 60. 2 goes into 60 30 times. 5 goes into 30 6 times. 2 goes into 6 3 times. Okay, those are both prime numbers, so we stop right there. And then you look and see what they got in common. Well, they got 2s, and they got 3s, okay? And so you take these numbers that they have in common. You say 2 times 3, okay? Just the numbers they have in common, not both sets of numbers, okay? Just the numbers they have in common. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 6, okay? Or 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, so 12 is your greatest common factor, okay? You could also do it with a factor tree. You can have 48 and 60. You can factor 48, 12 times 4 is 48. 2 times 6 and 2 times 2. 2 times 3 gives you 6. You can do the same thing with 60. 5 times 12. 2 times 6, 3 times 2. Okay, and so it doesn't matter which direction you choose to do these. I could have took 4 times 3 to get 12 here. As long as you do the math correctly and multiplication correctly, you will get the greatest common factor. You'll get these factors here that you can multiply. So even if I do a factor tree, I'm going to go through here and look and see what they have in common. I have a 2 here, okay, and then a 2 here, and then I have a 2 here, and I have a 2 here. Okay, I have more 2s, but I don't have any more 2s over there, so these 2s are it, but I also have a 3 here and a 3 here. So 2 times 2 times 3. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12, so it's another way to get 12 as my greatest common factor. Now, what does that have to do with what you have to do today? Okay, we're going to factor... we're going to factor these monomials, or we're going to factor these expressions. So number 1 is 32x and 18, and they just want you to factor each one of these. So this has an x, this doesn't, so we're not worried about that, but we are worried about factoring the 32 and the 18. What's the biggest thing I can take out of these? 2 goes into 32 16 times. 2 goes into 16 8 times. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 18 2 and 9. So then 3 goes in there 3 times. I know you do, honey. Sorry, Emma's over here. Okay. Can you sit down on the couch for just a minute? Okay, you can sit up here with me. Can you say hi? Can you say hi to the kids? They can see you on that camera. You say hi, Dee? You say hi, Dee? Say hi.
What's that?
It's a camera on the phone. They can see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you say hi?
I
Okay, you sit here with me. We'll finish this, okay? All right. Sorry, guys. So the thing you can pull out of both of these is 2. So on number 1, that is going to be 2 that we're taking out. And that's going to leave me with 16 here, because when I took 2 there, yes, I am drawing, honey. So it leaves me with 16x, and then plus 18. Okay, 2 16x plus 18. Number 2, we're going to do the same thing. We want to look at what we can do with 27 and 54.
Okay.
Yeah, Mason's okay. So we can take 27 S and 54 S, and we can pull out what these have in common. Now I'm looking here, I see 27 and 54, and I think to myself, if I multiply this by 2, that's going to be 54. So I can take 27 out of both of these. So I'm going to pull the 27 out, and they both have an S. This is ST, and this is just S, so I can pull the S out. So I have 27 times, that just leaves me with 1, because 27 divided by 27 is just 1, plus 27T. Okay, because that's what's left when I take 2 into 54. Okay, it's going to be 27. So when I pull the 2 out, that leaves me with 27, just to make sure you can see what's happening there. This was number 2. Okay. So number 3, I have 36x plus 24. So I want to say, what's the biggest thing in both of these? You can factor it out if you don't know. But I would look at both these numbers and I'd say, you know what, they're factors of 12. So I'm going to take 12 into 36. I get 3. And that leaves me with the x. Plus, I can take 12 out of 24. 12 goes into 24 twice. So that leaves me with 2. Okay. Oh, sorry, that was number 4. Emma's got me all messed up here. This is number 4. Number 3, I have 18 CD and 30 CD. Okay, so I can take, I need to look and say what will go into both of these. I know 2 will, so I'm going to take my 2 out and my CD out, because CD is in both of these. Okay, so I'm taking 2 CD out. 2 goes into 18 9 times, and 2 goes into 30 15 times, so I have 9 plus 15. But if I look at both of these, I know I have 9 and 15, and 3 will go into both of those. So I'm going to break it down again. I'm going to take the 3 out now. 3 times 2 is 6. I'm taking a 3 out of both these numbers, and 3 times 2 is 6. So 6 CD, that's a 3. Okay, honey, go on up there. I'll be up there in just a second, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead. Okay, on number 5, I have 4x plus 9. That won't reduce. There's nothing in there that you can take out. So that one's just done. You just leave it like it is. Okay, number 6, I have 14x minus 16y. I'm going to divide both of these by 2. Okay, because I know I can take 2 out of them. That's going to leave me with 7x. Take my 2 out, put it on the outside. It's going to leave me with 7x minus 8y. Okay, there's not anything else that I can take out of those. Okay, number 7. Scoot this up, make sure you can see it. Number 7. It says Mr. Finn's monthly income can be represented by the expression 25x plus 120, where the x is the number of hours he worked. It just wants me to factor this expression. So I'm going to start out taking a 5 out. Okay, I know I can take 5 out of both these. 25 divided by 5 is 5. I'm taking my 5 out and putting it outside. Okay, 5x on the outside of my parentheses. Plus 120 divided by 5. 5 is going to go into 120 24 times. So I have 5x plus 24. So on number 8, it wants you to tell how greatest common factor is used to factor an expression. You want to pull out the greatest common factor from both numbers. And then when you write it, you're going to write your simplified answer using the distributive property. This is wrote in a way that to work this around again, you would have to use the distributive property, but you are going to have to factor. Okay, you're going to have to use the greatest common factor. just as a little extra, since these are kind of hard, let me do just a couple more. I want to do number 2 on the independent practice and number 3. Okay, so I have 32A and 48B. So I would look at these. I think easier, probably, when I started out, I was showing you how you do the greatest common factor. That's fine. I still think you can maybe just look at these and say, what can I take out of these? Like, I know I can take 2 out, right, because they're even. I can take 4 out because 4 goes into 32, 4 goes into 48. So let's start out with that. Let's take 4 out. So I'm going to divide both these by 4. I think maybe this is going to be an easier way for you guys. 32 divided by 4 is 8. Okay, so I'm taking 4 out, putting it on the outside. Okay, and then I'm going to say plus 4 goes into 48 12 times. It's A and B. Okay, but I'm looking at these numbers, and I know that they're not all the way reduced because I can take a 4 out of these too. Kind of like when you're reducing fractions. Okay, if you're reducing fractions and you had 8 over 12, you'd have to reduce that again. Okay, because it's not in lowest terms. So that's essentially what we're doing here. So I'm going to reduce both of these by 4 again. Okay, except for when I take this 4 out, I'm going to have to multiply it by this 4 here. So 4 times 4, 16. Okay, leaves me with 2A plus 3B. Okay, and that is lowest terms. If I want to make sure that I have done this correctly, I can take this that I have here, and I could redistribute it and see if it comes out to be the same thing. Take 16 times 2, you get 32A. 16 times 3 is 48B. Okay, so if I was checking this, this is not something you have to do. This is something you can do if you want to make sure you did it right. You can redistribute this, and then it will come out to be the same thing that I started with right here. Okay, if you can see that, make sure. Okay, so you can see that right there. On number 3 here, let's see, I have 36K and 144 KM. So I can take 12 probably out of both of these. If I take 12 out, that's going to be 3. So it's going to leave me with 3K. If I take 12 out here, 12 goes into 144 12 times. So I have KM. Alright, now what I see here is I have a K left. So I'm going to take that out. So I have 12K. And then I have 3 plus 12M, because I have taken the K out of both these things and stuck it out here. Then I need to look at these. I still have 3 and 12. That still reduces one more time. So I can take 3 out here, 3 out here. 3, I'm going to have to multiply it by the 12. 3 times 12 is 36. So I have 36K, keeping my K. 1, because 3 divided by 3 is 1, plus 12 divided by 3 is 4. So that is 4M. Okay. Let's see. One last one. I'm going to do, let me flip over the page. I'm going to do, I don't know, let's do 25, number 25. Okay, I have number 25. This is on the next page over. I have 18x plus 6. So I'm going to take 6 out of both of these. So 6 goes into 18 3 times. So I have 3x plus, and then 6 goes into 6 1 time. So I divided both of these things by 6. Okay? Alright, if you have any trouble out of this, or if you guys need me to make another video on this, because this one's probably the hardest one we've done so far, just let me know, and I'll do that for you when the time comes. I'll talk to you later.